Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. Of course, we are back on the normal world. In the last two episodes we took a look around the old world and that was so much fun. It was really great to read all of your comments as well. Lots of stories from people about how they found Hermitcraft and what they thought of the old map. But I gotta say, going around that old map was really inspirational and I kind of want to try something different down here in the base. I want to go with a different build theme and build style in these back areas, and I haven't had the time just yet to start work on that, and I don't think we're going to be doing that this episode either, but that is something we will come to soon, because I was going around Red Eyes' base and he has this lovely, free-flowing, you can see how he does things, he just thinks, hey, I need this and there's some space over there so I'll go and build something, and there's no symmetry and all of these things that I find always hold me back. All these little details where you want things to be perfect, and that has really plagued us down here in the space. Obviously, we had the void fog at first. I mean, look at this thing as well. It's an amazing build, but it's all symmetrical. And then going into this area as well, we found a whole bunch of problems with slime spawning and just trying to fit everything into the right space. And I think maybe I need to look at doing something a little bit different down here. But one thing you may notice is that there are these half slabs over here. That's because I decided to go around and half slab some of the slime spawning areas, the slime chunks. And so I've done this one over here and it goes right into this area, which is a little bit silly. And you can't actually get up into this bit unless you go on that step right there. But it's only temporary. I just wanted to do that so there weren't always loads of slimes in this area. And also I do want to find a new build style and a bit of a theme to go in the back area, because there's a whole bunch of projects I want to do and I'm forever limited by not knowing how to execute them. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I had to spend some time figuring things out before I go and do them, and that happened with the sugarcane farm as well. And by the way, we're going to remove that sky lamp. A lot of people wanted to remove it and I think it would look better without, but because of that it means things take a fair bit of time to do. And then all the symmetry and all of that, it all kind of adds up and it makes things very, very difficult because you need a lot of planning to make all of that work. So for example, whatever we're going to do next is going to be opposite this, and then the room at least has to start, exactly on the same point on the other side, and it's got to be a similar sized room, and then there needs to be enough space for us to have more rooms down here because I'm focusing on all of that symmetry, and I do want to get away from that, so hopefully that will change. But we're not going to be doing too much down here today. I just wanted to quickly show you that I've been half slabbing some of the slime chunks around here, and you can see that it goes right into this area. Now I think that these redstone and repeaters will slow down the rate of spawning, but they can still actually spawn on there, and that's more likely to happen over here where the air blocks are. But at the same time, I don't know if an air block from outside a slime chunk can initiate a slime spawning within one. I have no idea, so it might be that they actually can't spawn in there at all. But I decided to do that just because slimes were kind of annoying me a little bit, and moving forward with building more in this area, which is what I really want to get into doing, I think it's very important we know where these slime chunks are so we can, adjust our pathways and stuff to go around it and make sure we don't have slime spawning everywhere. Now there is one other little pad over in this direction to show you, and I don't think there is too much else to talk about in this area. I've just been doing lots of caving really more than anything, mainly on the opposite side to this one over there, and I haven't done enough to kind of see a noticeable difference. But if it's night time up top, we'll go up top, have a look at the surface, and we should see tons of mobs. But that is literally all I've been doing, just caving, and I did a little bit of half slabbing yesterday, which was cool. And do I have any ender pearls? I do. We're going to throw them up top. But by the way, I'm also really keen to go into the snapshots. But there isn't a stable one yet. However, 21B is supposedly quite stable. And I'd like to ask all of you, if any of you are playing on snapshots, what has it been like? And which ones have you found to be stable? Oh, and it's not night time, so there's no point us going up there. Well, we're not going to be working on the base this episode. We're actually going to be going back over to Hermit Town 1.7 and working on the stations, which I know loads of you have been asking for me to finish that. We're also going to check out a few other things over there as well. Now this is my station chest. This used to be the old ender chest, and I've got a silken fortune touch in there, and also in this one. I just said fortune touch, I know. Alright, well that's good to know, and that's where my Witherbane sword is. Excellent. So I've been a little silly losing track of my items here. But I'm just going to stock up on all of these things. These are basically the main building blocks along with stone bricks that we need to build the station. So I'm going to just get those ready while we wait for it to turn to night. So I came up the top to have a look around and see how many mobs there were, and it's kind of hard to see actually because there is a sea of grey out there and the mobs are very small, and also because we're up here in the sky, we're a little bit further away, it means that there won't be as many mob spawns on the surface. But I think all of that caving that we're doing is making a difference. It's just kind of hard to see from up here, and when we finish lighting up all of the caves, I think that's when you'll come up here and there will just be a ton of mobs everywhere. But I've also just noticed there is some light coming from down there, so let's grab some stone bricks and find out what this is. Okay, that's the sky lamp for the sugarcane farm. Never mind me. Actually, we're going to remove that, so I can do that now. There we go, done. Except I probably want to remove the glass as well, don't I? And now there's mobs around here. Let's just fill that in. There we go, done. Okay, right. Over to Hermit down 1.7. I have been looking at my map of the underground here, and of course this is a custom map that we use to show the stations inside one of the stations. There is one that we need to build on this list, and that is TFC's base, which is over in that direction. You can see the beacons and a little bit of his mob spawner as well. I need to speak to TFC and find out where we can build that station, and hopefully I'll be able to do that soon. And then at the other end of the line, where I haven't written it on the map yet, we're going to have a station at either the legal district or possibly at a games area, which is going to be right next to it. And that's something that I want to do in the future, is build a game over there, and maybe some of the other hermits will join in it as well, as I'm sure lots of people will have ideas for little mini games that we could create. But I just want to ask, what is this? Does anyone know who built this or what it's for? I saw it as I walked over here and I just have no clue what it is. It looks like a landing pad, which made me think, you know, what if there was somewhere to jump from? But unless it's a landing pad for jumping off this tree, I don't know, and that seems a little bit silly. But before we get into building, I'm going to try and get hold of TFC, and at the moment it's morning here, so it might take a while because I want to build that station first. But we are just going to go and have a walk around the horse track. Now obviously I'm not going to walk around the whole thing. I'm going to jump to each section bit by bit and show you all of the things that people have been doing. So Mumbo took up the first section over here, and he's built a really nice little entrance to this area. It's been quite some time since I've seen this from his video, and I haven't actually seen it in person yet, and I've got to say it looks pretty snazzy. There is also some pressure plates, and that activates something redstoney. That's right, he's put in a bit of a like an obstacle course here, so you've got to jump with your horse and jump over the top. And you know what, for me to go around the rest of this thing, I really need to bring a horse with me, so we could try this out with a horse and see how it works. But that appears to be the end of his section as well. So let's head back and get ourselves a horse. There are a couple of other things around here that I don't know what they are. You see that thing over there? There's another one there as well, and another one here that I just wandered over to. And then I noticed this track. I'm pretty sure that's going to go over to TFC's area, but I don't know what exactly the track is for. But this thing right here, I don't know what that's supposed to be either. It's like a little lookout post on the way. I think I'm going to have to grab my horse and do some investigating here. It seems people have been building in the area a lot while I've been away. So the road leads up to TFC's base. It looks like he's building some sort of mini road system through the middle of his base. And then when I came back, I noticed something. There are more of these little outpost things on the hills. No idea who's doing that. But if we head over here, I had to go on Mumbo's little obstacle course with the redstone, and actually if you've got a fast enough horse you can pretty much go straight over it with a little bit of derping around. And actually, because this thing only pushes out by one high, you're just going to go straight over it, I do believe, because the horse will just go straight over a single block, and I have no idea if that slows it down or not. Look at Sean the sheep over there. Right, so let's continue our way round the horse track and see the other things that people have been doing. This was a competition, building on the racetrack that is. I think Zombie Cleo would win. Oh, I never thought I'd see something so great on this track. I was always hoping that people would come and build really cool and interesting things, but never did I expect to see something as cool as this. And I've been trying to remember the name of this building, but it just won't come back to me, which is kind of annoying. But we'll take a little bit of a closer look at that in a moment. But let's just go down this way. This is the way you race down the middle of the track. I love these flags hanging down on the side. I think that's so cool, and they look so good with the stained glass. And then coming through here, there's a bit of a village going on with various shops. You've got this, let's see what it's actually called on the side here. William Joseph and James Robertson Son Butchers, but it's like, yeah, you got the pigs and the different meat hanging upside down. Very cool stuff. I do like that. And there are some other buildings here that I'm not too familiar with. And, oh, we have a, what's this? Goldsmith Jewelers. That is ever so cool. I do like this. So where does the track go at this point? Does it go around to the side, or do you just go to the left or the right? I think you go around like this. And there you go. You can see the fence posts on the side. But I'm actually going to take the time to have just a little look around here. It looks like there's a lot of stuff to see. I will do that in a moment. I don't want to waste your time because we need to do some building in this episode and finish that other station. But we will come back here and have a closer look at this because there is this really nice oasis underground, or under the building even, that looks ever so cool. Let me just hop off the horse here. I hope this guy doesn't run away. I also don't know what happened to my other horse. It wasn't in the stable, and so I just picked a random guy, and he seems to be fairly fast, which is pretty cool. But this looks really nice. Love the birch and the acacia here. Fits in really well with the sandstone. And then going up, the trees look gorgeous, and everything here is just so well done. I do very much like that. A very nice little mini oasis under here. But we will continue on our way around the racetrack. I'm just going to spend a little bit of time here by myself looking around at some of the finer details because this is very cool. So next up on the track we have this rocky path that leads around to this right here. That is the Slipgator logo, and this is his part of the track. And what a cool little entrance to it as well. I really like this, and I've just had a quick look. There are cobwebs, and it is tricky to dodge them, but I think we can do it. Let's give it a run. So if we just go like this and take it slow, then we're not going to go into the cobwebs, which is a good thing. But trying to run through that bit diagonally, I think you're going to get caught on the cobwebs. But that is really cool. And the cobwebs do slow down the horse, by the way. Look, you can see now it's really difficult to move, but we can kind of jump out of it, which is a cool little thing right there. And this path is awesome. And there's like a little bit of a jump there. And I guess if you fail the jump and fall down here, then you've got to go around to the side. That's nicely done. And then it goes all the way around here and then across the river. I remember this bit. I remember the track. I remember all of it. And it looks like you can possibly, yeah, you can fall into the water and you can't get out that side and you can come back up this side. That's pretty cool. I do like that. It's nice to have some obstacle elements in this racetrack as well. And so another one here, you got to jump, which I failed. I'd actually like to try that again because that looks a little bigger than I thought. This guy can't jump at all actually. That's something I learned earlier. He has a very low jump, and now he's jumping later. Anyway, let's just continue. Enough of me failing there. This is cool. I like this. You've got to go from left to right to dodge that. That's awesome. And then it goes all the way over here. So this is where it deviates from the original track, I do believe. The original one goes somewhere down the side of those trees. I was trying to stick to the border between this biome and that one, and then it just went across the field, which wasn't very interesting. But if you just saw that up there, top right of the screen, we're going to see something very, very cool in a second. So it goes all the way across here. Brings you a little closer to the ribbon as well. That's a nice thing to see on the side. What a sight to behold that is. And then we pop down here and we go through the lava. I think that was actually there. It was natural, so Slips kind of incorporated that. But here is the cool thing. We're going to go all the way up there. I'm just going to face forward and hold down forward, and we are going to shoot up, which is absolutely crazy. That is so cool. I'll explain that in a moment. We will come back round and have a look. And then we go off the edge and we fall into a big pool of water. Oh, for a second there I thought I was going to hit the edge. I stopped holding down forward when I was mid-air, and we came very close to hitting the edge there, didn't we? And I don't know if this is the end of it. No, it goes around the side here and then it links back up to my bridge, which is cool because I like this bridge. But that thing back there, let's go back round and I'll explain how that works. To understand how this works, you've got to keep in mind that the horse doesn't have to jump when it goes up by one block. It just goes straight over it like it was walking. So for the player to go up this, we have to jump each time. So each time I jump, that's just the horse moving forward. Now, what's happening here is that the hitbox gets smaller each time. So we start off with a regular block, then we have an iron bars, which is like half a block, then onto a trapdoor, and then onto a ladder, and that allows the horse to just whiz up really quickly. Now, there is actually a even more compact design of this that goes straight up vertically I was considering doing a tutorial on it at one point, but it is kind of difficult to recreate and build. It involves ender chests and a whole lot more blocks than the ones that you see just here, but it kind of works on the same concept, and that is actually made by YouTuber Pi. I don't think he's ever made a video on it, it's just in his test world, and it is very cool. So maybe we'll hop over and have a look at it, and maybe if you guys want a tutorial and you'd want to build it, I could look into doing that. So yeah, we'll hop over into the test world quickly. Now that I look at it again, it isn't too complicated, but it's probably a little bit of a pain to build. But let's say stand at the bottom, because this thing just goes straight up, and it is unbelievable. Very clever use of the different mechanics in the game. But if we just hold down forward like this and head into the corner, then we just go straight up, and that looks absolutely crazy. Oh, that is really, really cool. I do like that. I want to find a use for this. I need to use a horse elevator somewhere. Obviously going back down isn't a good idea. It's a one-way thing. Next up on the track is TFC's Motel 1.7, at least I think that's what the M stands for, and what I like here is the jack-o'-lanterns in the path, because not only do they show you the way with their bright orange, but they also light up the path at night, which is pretty cool. But he's got some horse stables around the side here, so let's park up our guy inside one of these. And one thing to remember if you're using these is to always make sure this guy is nudged into the back, because if he's in one of the front three blocks when you get off him, then he'll be able to pathfind his way out of there. But he's got a motel office building here with some rooms for hire on the side and a swimming pool which has, or is, made out of melons, which is pretty interesting looking right there. And then around the side he's got an unfinished restaurant which has a pretty interesting name. You can see here it's unfinished because there's no roof. Obviously restaurants have roofs, but this is Moe's Beanery and Donut Shoppy, member Nutjob Hills, Chamber of Commerce. I don't know who Nutjob Hills is, but that is a funny name right there. Anyway, I'm going to grab my horse and we're going to continue on our way. So that is all there is to see, and I've got to say I've got some inspiration now to come back to this project and maybe make some cool little sections. You know, we don't have to do anything really in particular, you can do anything here, and I was thinking it would be nice just to take a section of the track and make a nice floor pattern and maybe make a few obstacles as well, because those are a lot of fun indeed. But now it is time for us to work on our station, so I just gotta wait until TFC comes online and then I'll be able to find out where we're going to build it. I was racing over the mountains and unfortunately my horse fell down below into that lava right there. I got set on fire, but my horse did not survive. I'm not happy about it. It was one of the faster horses. Oh, but there we go. Anyway, I met up with TFC. I was on my way out when he messaged me on Skype, so just in time we got together and had a little chat, and we figured that this place over here would probably be a good place next to his castle, and it's not too far away from his motel project, which we actually saw earlier on in this video, so now you get a good idea of where that is in relation to his base and to the ribbon and to the rest of Hermitcraft. But this is where the station is going to go, and I've just been trucking away building it, so let's go down and have a look. Guess what? It looks like all the other ones, but this one is going to be slightly different. If we go down below, you can see there is all of this stone right here, and that's because it's the end of the line at the moment. And I realised that this makes the redstone very simple, because all we need to do is press that button, and some redstone behind there powers that powered rail down there, so you're not going to need the whole swapper system, which is kind of nice actually, because it means I get a little bit more time to dig the tunnel, which is probably going to take a lot longer than this station took to make, although I'm very used to building this now. And there's also instant mine in this area, which is really good because of all of the beacons, so it's been pretty pleasant. Now you can see there are a couple more things to do in here, so I'm going to do them and then show you it before we start building this tunnel. But I wanted to do a little bit of a time lapse because there's lots of repetitive building that goes into this, and that's the kind of thing, if you edit it right and record it well, you can make it into an interesting little time lapse showing how it all comes together. So what we have to do is get more of this purple stained clay. I've got to head all the way back to my base to get the correct dyes for that because I didn't bring them with me. And then we'll put them in on this wall as well. There'll be a couple of lamps, and we also need an item frame, which is something else that I forgot to bring, so we can put in the map, which I don't have on me, but that is another thing that I am probably going to forget to do. So if I don't do it by the end of this episode, just leave a comment and remind me that I need to go over to where this map is and update it, so at the bottom there TFC's base isn't white, it's going to be purple, which is the colour that I chose for this one. But we have just a couple more things to do, so I'm going to go get those materials and we will finish this station. So there we go, that looks a lot better now. I really like that. I'm glad we chose to do that. I got a feeling though there were a couple of signs that we had here as well, or did I decide to replace that with this? I'm not sure, but of course we can change that later. And the next thing for us to do is the tunnel, and I've forgotten to do this little bit over here. So there we go. Now the station is finished, I think. Maybe I've forgotten something else. Anyway, it is time for a time lapse. I'm going to do this tunnel. It's going to take me some time, but I'm going to record it and edit it for you guys, and hopefully it'll be interesting. Be sure to let me know. But here we go. Enjoy the time lapse. So there we go, job done. We have built our underground rail, except over here it comes out of the ground. Yes, that's right. I decided to leave this in because as soon as I came out, I was digging away, figuring out the paths for the tracks to connect, and I came out over here and straight away I just thought, you know what, that's going to work. I like this. I like that it comes outside because it gives it a little bit of a variety. So I was thinking about, perhaps we have some sort of support beams or stilts to hold this track up, and we put glass around the outside. Although I think this thing is a little too close to the ground for that, but the glass around the outside would definitely work, and there is an opportunity to do something nice over here. But then inspiration hit me, and I got more and more ideas for what we could do with this little area over here, and I am actually going to save that for another day because I'm thinking about doing a midweek episode at the moment. I'm not sure if I'm going to have the time. I also have a festival that I'm going to over the weekend, so I'm trying to get ahead of myself with the videos, and doing an extra one might not be the best of ideas. But I might do that, who knows at the moment. But the next episode that there will be, we're going to be doing something right here, and I think you guys are really going to like what I have in mind. But that is the track now fully connected. I do have a minecart. Let's go over to Slip Station quickly. We are really getting close to opening this thing, and there is just one more little thing I have to do before the end of this episode. I did remember we have to update the map, so I've got to take a long journey all the way back to my base, but this thing is connected up. Now I had to turn to the right here, and then the left and the right again, because right behind that wall is the ribbon, so we couldn't go any further in that direction, so it worked out pretty good. But this is what we've got to update. And by the way, the map at the other station, TFC's one, it has a block of glowstone behind it like this one does here. And the signs, that is something else we need to do. I need to put those on the other station. I did remember there were signs, I just couldn't remember how I set them up. So a couple more things to do and we are almost done here, but that is the last stop on this line, and there'll probably be one more at the other end, and we are getting very close to opening up this subway system, whatever it is I've decided to call it. So I will do those things and be back with you in a moment. So there we go, you can probably barely see it, but I've updated the map. You can see it's purple at the bottom there. We've added the sign as well. We've done the two things that we needed to do. What usually happens is I head all the way over to get some materials. I come all the way back and then I find out I've missed something, but we have actually done what we needed to do there, and I've been thinking about it. I am not going to be able to pull off a Thursday episode of Hermitcraft. I think that's a bit far-fetched because I am going to that festival on the weekend, so I don't really have the time. Anyway, this area right here, let me know if you have any ideas for it yourself, because I know exactly what I want to do here. However, I'd love to incorporate some other ideas as well, and it'd be interesting to see if some of you have the same vision that I do as well. But as for now, I'm going to keep you guessing until the next episode. If you have enjoyed this one, please do leave a like, it will always be appreciated. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.